Hi, I'm here for part two of the video on like the 20th century China. That's Ava. I'm Mr. Wagner. Here we go. I think we left off with 27 in your notes. What do the communists want? They want socialism, but like their version of it. And the government corruption, redistribution of land is like the big socialist thing. I take from the rich, take all of it, put in a big pot, give out to the poor, and then I make sure that we're going to industrialize and get more like the Western world that's successful. There's this like jealousy towards England and France and USA and all that there are, and in Japan. If you're China, you're very jealous of Japan and how advanced they're getting faster than you. And we want to be a world power. So the answer to 27: redistribution of land to the peasants. All right, 28 is rules China as a totalitarian state. This is what Mao Zedong really does. He declares himself chairman. He rules. They redistribute land and keep people busy doing crazy things sometimes, and basically looking for people that are trouble or might be trouble, getting them and snitching on them. And he controls all aspects of life, and he does this by various like branches that help him: the People's Liberation Army, propaganda, posters, brainwashing his own people, fun stuff, and people getting killed if they don't agree with it, burning books, making people dumb by destroying the education system, fun stuff. So the answer to 28 is, besides government controls all aspects of life, you have to write down propaganda and the cult of personality. It means a cult of like Mao is the best. What would, like sometimes people will say, just what would Jesus do? Now in the China, they would say, what would Mao do? One of his programs is the Great Leap Forward. He comes up with these like ideas of these things that sound so great, and they're like a 5-year plan or 10-year plan type of thing. That's what the Russians taught him to do. The goal of the Great Leap Forward is to like snakes and ladders of industrialization, and you get like all kinds of factories and stuff. That's the Russian model. He says we're going to get all kinds of factories and stuff, and they kind of do real fast, but then it like, and then they go back to just trying to be a farmer country, because bunches of farmers operating mechanical machinery with no training doesn't work. So rapid modernization is the answer to 30, and Great Leap Forward is the first answer. All right. The Great Leap failed because peasants kind of resisted it because they're farmers and that's not their bag, right? And the main problem was when famine happened. Even dating back to the ancient times, if something bad's happening, it's probably because the ruler is not doing anything quite right. You weren't allowed to question that, or you were probably killed or sent to like a middle of nowhere camp where you were just like put in intensive labor. The Cultural Revolution is the other main thing that you're doing a DBQ on. And renew revolutionary spirit. Basically, always like, if you're always rebelling and always changing and always doing things for the better, and in this big movement, this 5-year thing, you could never complain about how useless it all is and how the Mao chairman is not doing his job. Get rid of all old things: thoughts, culture, customs, and habits. Anybody that's old and rich and has accumulated wealth, take all their wealth, kill them, all that stuff. You had to carry this little red book you'll see in the pictures around, and you had to memorize sayings by Chairman Mao and the rules, and you had literally had to recite them, and people could stop and make you recite them. Sounds like Hitler Youth or something, right? And the Red Guard were supposed to snitch on people, and you wore a little red thing on your arm. Sounds great, right? And then you basically have to snitch on people and make sure that everything's like young, exciting, new, and not very well educated, but brainwashed by that little red book. All right. And they post pictures and paintings everywhere. Oh, it's very glorious to serve Mao. And that takes you through like the 30s and 40s of the answers. Propaganda posters. Oh, yes. Be like everybody else. Help Mao. Help you. Help all China. Propaganda posters were very big. The problems of the Cultural Revolution: chaos. Schools were closed as one of your answers. Red Guards, but were supposed to help, were sent to rural areas to basically, thank you for helping us root out all the rich people that accumulated wealth. Now we're just going to send you out to the middle of nowhere. Good luck. So anybody who accumulated power during this was basically sent out to the middle of nowhere to farm. And that pretty much gets us up to like the 60s and 70s, when they start to reach out to the Western world. Mao gets really old, but his accomplishments are, he kind of industrialized China, increased literacy overall. If you could read the Little Red Book, it was one of the main things they let you read. You weren't allowed to read things, really. Class privileges ended. So, yeah, the rich bourgeois people